Hey everybody, it's Papa Chaz coming back to you today. Getting ready to do a little Dutch oven cooking. You can see we've got our ingredients laid out here. We're going to do some Dutch oven lasagna. And one little twist we're going to do to it today is we're using ground venison instead of ground beef. Coming out of the little dough that I was blessed to take back in November. And we'll be posting up the video as we go along. And I'll probably post up the recipe like I did on my last cook on the wings. That seemed to be pretty good. Got some good responses on YouTube by doing it that way. So, but we're basically going to cook the meat and then mix the meat and some of the sauce. You see my ragu there. Then we'll start off by layering it in the Dutch oven, and then we'll cook it for about an hour in the Dutch oven to get the noodles good and done. And we'll mix up some of the cheeses, the oregano, the eggs, the cottage cheese you see there, and we'll be layering it noodles and meat and cheese, noodles, meat and cheese, noodles, meat, and sprinkling cheese on top, and then we'll be baking it. We're also going to do an apple crisp in the smaller Dutch oven for dessert to go along with it, and we'll be doing a separate video on that. But just letting you know, we got some cooking going on. Getting ready to do some cooking in our Dutch ovens. So it's a little bit of a break away from the ones I've been doing. It's been just strictly smoker cooks, but we're going to do some Dutch oven cooks for those of you who like to change things up. And I just enjoy cooking. And as you know, with me being disabled, I don't work, so I try to help my wife as much as I can. And one of the things I can do is a little bit of cooking to kind of take some of the pressure off of her. So I'll be back at you here in just a little bit. We'll get started on this, and probably won't be able to video the whole process. I'm working by myself. Too hard to do all this stuff one-handed, but we'll get it going and see how everything comes out, and video as we can. And we'll be back to you in a little while. Hey everybody, it's Papa Chaz coming back to you on our cook today on our Dutch oven lasagna. As you can see, I've got my cheeses mixed up in the bowl here, and we're fixing to mix them up. I'm going to go ahead and get this done, set it in the refrigerator while we're doing the meat. Let me tell you what I've got in here. I've got 3 eggs, obviously you can see that. A teaspoon and a half of oregano. 2 1/4 cups of cottage cheese, and you can use ricotta cheese or ricotta, however you say it. I have a 1/4 cup of Parmesan and about 8 ounces of mozzarella. I bought an 8-ounce pack and I took a little bit out of it just so I'd have something to sprinkle on top when we get our last layer done. So I'm going to mix all this up and set it in the refrigerator. And this is our cold ingredients, or our cheeses if you will. And we'll be doing the meat and then getting it mixed up with our sauce and putting it all in there in layers. And we'll come back to you in a little bit and let you see how we're going about that. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it on video. I'll do a couple layers, or do a layer and then show you what it looks like, and then she'll come back and show you the finished product. We're doing this on in the Dutch oven. For those of you that know me, you know I've been doing Dutch oven cooking for a couple years now, and I really enjoy it as much as I enjoy the smokers. It's cold outside today and kind of windy, and with the Dutch oven it's a little bit harder to keep the temp up, so we're going to be doing the meat inside in the frying pan inside, getting the Dutch oven ready, and then taking it out and putting it on the fire. So we'll get all that ready, and we'll come back to you in a little while, and I'll show you what this looks like when it's all mixed up. But it's just going to be a mixed up bowl of ingredients, and then we'll be back in a little while with the meat and the preparation and the rest of the preparation. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we are back. You can see our bowl of mixed up cheeses. I'm going to put the lid on it, get it in the refrigerator, and let it set. Wait on us to get the meat done. I want to say something about Dutch oven cooking. A lot of people are scared of them. A lot of people are intimidated by them. They are not hard to cook with. As much information as you can get on the internet now about different things, you can study out the tips and everything that people who have used these things for years and cook with them. And they're just not hard. It's all about proper seasoning. And it's all about temperature, and once you learn how to regulate your temperature, how to get your temp where you need it, get everything up to snuff with learning that, and it's not hard. And then cleanup's a breeze. You just wipe them out. You don't wash them, just like Grandma used to do with her old frying pan. You never saw her wash it with soap and water. Once you get it seasoned to where it's cooking good, you don't do that. You just wipe them out good, cover them, coat them good with oil, and they'll be ready for the next time. I've done everything from pork chops, one pot meals, pot roast, potatoes. The last time I cooked in it, I did a deer roast and veggies. I've even done a pineapple upside down cake, put a plate on it, flip it over, it comes out perfect. If you just practice with it. They're not hard to do. A lot of people are scared of them, don't want to even try. But man, you can get some awesome food, and you can get some easy cooking done if you just learn how to do some Dutch ovens. And what I've got here, I'll just go ahead and tell you what they are. I've got a 12-inch Camp Chef, regular depth, and I've got a 10-inch Lodge. And I use the bigger one more than anything. I would like to have a deep dish. Mine are the camp version. That means they got the legs on them. You can see the legs underneath there. And those will set up, and I'm actually going to put charcoal under them and on top of them. Remember, this is an oven. When you cook in an oven, you got more heat on top than you do on bottom. That's how you bake things. And typically, you'll take double the number of charcoal briquettes as your Dutch oven is. So an example, that's a 12-inch. I'll use 24 charcoal briquettes. Now I'm going to adjust that a little bit because it's in the 40s outside and the wind's blowing. I'll probably add a couple. I think if you read it and study it, I think each charcoal briquette is supposed to be around 12 to 13 degrees temperature wise, so you can figure out how quick that gets you up to temperature. And then you go about every hour and add a little bit to it, depending on what you're cooking, how long it takes. And like I said, it's not hard. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy cooking. I've been doing Dutch oven stuff for a couple of years, and we've had a lot of good eats out of these two little pots right here. Hard to beat a black pot. All right, I'll be back at you when we get the meat ready to go in. And I'll get the fire started before I do that, let it be coming up to temp so it's ready. And we'll be back at you here in just a little while. Alright, I'm back. Here's what I got going on. You can see I got the bottom of the Dutch oven covered with the sauce. And I'm fixing to put noodles in as my first layer. And I'm using uncooked noodles. Now you can do it, cook the noodles first if you so choose. But you don't have to. And some of these I'm going to have to just break them and put them in. But we're just going to cover all that sauce with noodles and make a layer of noodles in there. Ain't got to be perfect. It's just going to, let's break that one down again. And I think that'll be all right. Now when we get our meat ready here in just a few minutes, we'll be putting a layer of meat, and then a layer of cheese, and then more noodles, and then a layer of meat, and then a layer of the rest of our cheese, and then more noodles, and then we'll do the rest of the meat and cheese on top. And then because I'm not cooking the noodles first, I'll pour 3/4 cup of hot water around the top edge, and that'll help the noodles to cook. And then we'll put this out on the fire for about an hour, and it'll take it about an hour. We'll add some mozzarella cheese on the top when we get down to about 45 minutes. So the last 10 or 15 minutes it'll be cooking. Give that cheese a chance to brown on top of it, and we'll go from there. I think I'm going to break off one more little piece and kind of scoot this down a little bit. Do it that way. Turn that over. All right. So there we go. And we'll be out, and we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. All right, we got our meat in the pan. I got not quite 2 pounds of meat here, and the recipe only called for 1.5 pounds. So what we're going to do is we're not cooking this all the way. We're just really going to brown it good. And not adding any seasoning or spices to it because we got spices. I bought the spaghetti sauce that had the tomato basil already in it, so it's going to have some sauces. Anyway, I just want to show you that. Good Lord blessed me with a dough back in December, and we eat the meat. We use it, do it mostly grinding, and we usually butcher ourselves. We got a little grinder, and we do all that stuff and try to take care of what the good Lord gives us. And all right, let me get this camera off of here. Get to finish browning this meat. I got my fire started outside. Hopefully it'll be about ready by the time we get all this put together. We're going to brown this, and then we'll get back to you when we get our sauces mixed with it. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. That's what it looks like. So we'll be back at you in a little while. Hey everybody, it's Papa Chaz. I'm back to you getting ready to finish up this lasagna and get it on the fire. As you can see, we've got our meat cooked and mixed in with our spaghetti sauce. And as you saw me get that ready a while ago, and then there's my cheeses and some of my lasagna noodles. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take roughly a third of this meat sauce and make a layer on top. Then we'll take half the cheese sauce, make a layer on top of that. Then we'll do noodles on top of that. Then we'll do it again with the rest of it and do noodles. And then we'll put the last third of the meat sauce will go on top of that. And then we'll put it in the oven, and we'll put it on the fire and get it cooking. And then, like I said a while ago, for the last 10-15 minutes, we'll spread the rest of our mozzarella on top of it. And that'll give it about a good 10-15 minutes for that mozzarella to get good and golden brown. And I'm going to do a layer. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and do it all, and then I'll come back to you. And I can't do it one-handed. I'm not coordinated enough. If any of y'all watching this know me, you'll know if I try to do this one-handed with a camera in one hand and dipping it with the other, I'm going to wind up making a bigger mess than I'm already making. So I'm going to cut this off, and I'll come back and show it to you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, I'm back. I've got it ready in the pan. I'm fixing to go put it on the fire. I put just a little bit too much of the meat sauce in the first layer, and I didn't have enough on the top, or I didn't have as much as I would have liked to have had on the top, but it's okay because we're going to be sprinkling cheese on top of this. And my charcoal's ready, and what I'm going to do on this charcoal today, normally I would do 24 briquettes. I would do 8 on the bottom and 16 on top, but since we're a cold day, it's only 46 outside and the wind is blowing, I'm going to add to that a little bit because some of that heat will get gone, blow away in the wind. So I'm probably going to put 8 underneath and 18 on top. I'm going to add a few more, and this will take about an hour to cook. So I'm going to get that out there, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we got it on the table. I've got a Lodge Dutch oven table out there set up, and then I'm also going to be doing the apple crisp here. It don't take it but about 35-40 minutes to cook, so I'll let this cook about halfway through before I even start on that. But I'll show you the prep on that, but that'll be another video. So let's get this out there on the fire and get it started cooking. Try to have it ready by the time the lovely wife gets home from work, and we'll be back at you here in just a few minutes. Alright, here you can see our setup. I got some extra charcoal briquettes. For me, it's easier to get the charcoal chimney started again when you got a few extra briquettes. And I'll be starting a few more here for that apple crisp in just a few minutes, so it'll be ready by the time I'm ready for them. But you can see there's my Dutch oven, and you can see, try to get down here where you can see underneath that. That's why you do it that way. You don't put a whole lot of heat under these things because it'll burn, it'll make it stick. We keep ours oiled up good, so we don't have any problems with them sticking. But like I said a while ago, with an oven, you know, most of your heat's up from the top anyway. And I'll come out and check it about 20-25 minutes, and we'll rotate it and pick the handle up and rotate the pot one way, and then we'll pick the lid up and rotate it half a turn back the other way, and that way we get good even heat distribution with it. And we'll come back, and when we raise that lid, we'll see what it's looking like. And then, like I said, with about 10-15 minutes left to go, we'll put the rest of that mozzarella cheese on top and let it get a good golden brown. So here's where we're at, and we're looking good. We'll be back to you in a little bit. Hey everybody, Papa Chaz back. All right, it's been 20 minutes. What I'm going to do is I just wanted to come back out and show, for those of you who've never cooked with a Dutch oven, didn't know what I was talking about. We'll rotate the Dutch oven halfway. Then we'll take our lid tool And take the lid and rotate it a quarter turn back the other way. You can see we're cooking good in there. It's already starting to bubble a little bit. And we do that just to make sure that we get the charcoals. In case you got a hot spot where maybe some of the charcoal's burning a little hotter than the other. That way you're rotating it, not keeping a hot spot over the same spot cooking. And I like to see that charcoal briquette, that one was a little bit smaller, and so they may not be putting out as much heat. And you just come out and rotate it every 20, 30 minutes, 15, 20. I like to do it about every 20, 25. Different people do it different ways. Got some more charcoal started over there for my apple crisp that I'm fixing to do. And I'm going to go get started on it, and I'll start another video for it. But that's where we're at right now. We'll cook this. It's going to take it a little bit longer than an hour to cook because of the cool temperature. So when I get some of that charcoal going, I put some extra, and I'll add some more charcoal on top just to make sure we're cooking good. So anyway, that's where we are. We'll be back at you later. Okay, everybody, I'm back. It's time to put the cheese on the lasagna. Tell you what, between smelling this lasagna and smelling that apple crisp, it's going to be a good supper tonight. I'm going to use my tool here to set this thing over out of the way. And you can see what we're looking like right there. We're going to just sprinkle that cheese. I didn't save enough of the cheese. I got some cheddar in there. I guess I could add to it, but maybe I'm going to need to do that. That is the mozzarella, and that's not enough. I'm going to add, let me go back in and step back in here a minute, see what else I got. How about we sprinkle a little bit of more Parmesan on there. Give it just a little bit more cheese on top. So see if I can get it open one-handed. That was not easy to do. Alright. We're going to add just a little, not a whole lot. I should have bought another pack of that mozzarella. And, alright. Let me get that lid back on it. We're going to let it cook for about another 15 minutes. Let that cheese get melted good. And let's see what we got here. Let me turn this thing around. I almost dropped it a minute ago. We'll put that right back on there. And we'll give it about 15 more minutes. And we'll be back when we get it out and get it ready to eat. See you later. Hey everybody, Papa Chad's back. Alright, we should be done. We've been cooking, because it was cold, we let it go a little bit longer than normal. We have got about an hour and 20 minutes going on the lasagna, and I'm going to pop this lid. And oh yeah, as you can see, the steam coming out, and it's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it, take it inside, and we'll do a little bit more to the video here in just a minute. Let me get this set out of the way, set it on its little lid holder, and grab my glove, take this inside, and then we'll be doing some pictures and do a little bit more video when we get a plate fixed so you can see what it looks like. Be back in a few. Alright, here we are back. You can see I've already got some dipped out of there. Like we were talking about the Dutch oven a while ago, as you can see, if you keep them cleaned up and oiled up properly, they don't stick at all. So there's our lasagna, and here's our plate. We're fixing some salad to go with it, and the lovely wife is fixing us some salad to go. Got us some garlic bread done. So that's our Dutch oven lasagna, and we're going to take a picture of the plates and the bowls, and we'll get the video all put together and uploaded for y'all to watch after a while, and we appreciate y'all watching.